We're going to start in about 5 minutes, but if you're here to speak on behalf of a faith organization and did not complete a Weaver's form, there's one in the back, and if we could just have one for the record so that we have all your contact information. If you're not on the agenda and would like to have an opportunity to speak, it's not too late to ask to be non-agendized, and those forms are in the back as well. Thanks. of you to our first Faith and Celebration. For those of you who don't know about the Tapestry Commission, we are the Human Relations Commission of the City of Lancaster, and among all the other things that Brenda Gamlowski, our fabulous management staff analyst, is doing right now is trying to put our mission statement up on the screen so that when you wonder what we do, you'll be able to read it. And I'd like to give a particular welcome to his first Open Weavers meeting to Dr. Miguel Coronado. Yay. Who is our newest seated member, and we'll come back to him. So starting with roll call.
Sorry. Commissioner Coronado? Here. Commissioner Kamari? Present. Commissioner Marshall?
Present.
Chair Dell?
Present.
Commissioner Militello? Here. And Commissioner Mohammed is not here yet.
Correct, and I was unaware of her being absent and haven't got a response on the text yet, so we'll see. All right, Commissioner Coronado, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Miguel, to the concept of a mic, have it turn on and turn off? Okay, good, thanks. All right, we have voted as a commission, rather than having a religious invocation each month, to have an inspirational thought. And because we have such a wonderful, I don't think smattering is a very pretty word, but such a wonderful range of different faiths here, I thought I would invite someone to speak with our inspirational word, with whom I had such a positive conversation. So Joanna Di Giovanna from the Baha'is, if you would lead us in an inspirational thought. No participation is necessary, just let your mind open. Thank you.
In the Baha'i faith, we don't generally think of things off the top of our heads. Our religious prayers are done, are revealed to us by our Prophet Baha'u'llah, his predecessor, the Bab, and his son, Abdu'l-Baha. So I will be reading one that I felt was appropriate for this particular commission. O thou provider, the dearest wish of this servant of thy threshold is to behold the friends of East and West in close embrace, to see all the members of human society gathered with love in a single great assemblage, even as individual drops of water collected in one mighty sea, to behold them all as birds in one garden of roses, as pearls of one ocean, as leaves of one tree, as rays of one sun. Thou art the mighty, the powerful, and thou art the God of strength, the omnipotent, the all-seeing. Abdu'l-Baha.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay, last month we had the anti-bullying month, the first bullying prevention month for the City of Lancaster. I thought it went very well. We had a very large turnout of schools, and especially kids who had made signs, and we had a calendar of activities with the schools with a couple of organizations doing theirs, and I thought the proclamation signing went very well, and those of you who could be here, it was great, so thank you very much. Did anybody have any comments about it? Well, Brenda Gamlowski has some wonderful ideas for next year. Do you want to just give us a once-over your concept of having a season?
Since the Tapestry's mission is to reach out, and it's reaching out and uniting everybody in the community, instead of just concentrating on anti-bullying, the season would incorporate you reaching out and incorporating any events that all the organizations in the community and the schools are doing already and want to be involved in to unite the community and the community members. So the season would start more when in September and run through probably Martin Luther King Day of Service, which is in January.
So starting with Heritage Fair in the fall.
Correct.
Beautiful idea.
Correct.
So we'll be talking some more about that in closed session where we do a lot of our planning, but I thought that that was one way to put a really positive spin on being kind and open rather than a negative spin on stopping being bad. So I think that was your NLP reference, Vivian. Okay, good. License plate holders. The City of Lancaster has asked all commissioners to and employees to put on their cars license plates that say "Shop More Lancaster."
Yes.
And so there will be no arm twisting. However, if you're willing, it is a gift from the city to help us promote the city. Money spent in Lancaster results in sales tax that goes to Lancaster, and sales tax that goes to Lancaster results in programming in Lancaster, and what's better than that, right? Shop more in Lancaster. So, now, are these for sale? Not mine, but.
They're not for sale right now.
Okay. Well, if you have a burning desire, I'm willing to put this up for bid. Okay. Tapestry PowerPoint.
In front of you, each commissioner has a PowerPoint presentation on a DVD, and that is the presentation that you can take to each of the organizations and give the presentations to explain what the Tapestry is about and see how you can help their organization.
So we will no longer have the excuse, I didn't have the presentation. Okay. If it's possible also to print out maybe, I don't know, a handful of print handouts so that when we do go out to organizations, we can hand it to them.
Yes, yes, I can do that.
I think that probably the most common question that I've heard is, what do you guys do? So this is what we do. All right.
I would like to ask Brenda if maybe you could just email us the handout, and that way we could just print them out at our leisure before we go speak somewhere. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
Great. All right, to kick off our Faith and Celebration season series, we have 6 or possibly 7 presentations, depending on how people's schedules go. And is there anybody who has been asked to come and present who is on a timeline that has to get out of here first? All right, well, I'll give you the opportunity to change that decision after we do the first one. So we'll just go in order, starting now with Reverend Maxine Schlitz of Revealing Truth. Please do join us.
This is the first time I've been at this podium that I haven't done an invocation for one of the many groups that work in this chamber. Revealing Truth is a metaphysical center. Metaphysics in general is, first of all, what's my time span?
We said 5 minutes, but if you have a burning desire to keep going on, yeah.
Okay.
We don't run a timer, so we just throw things.
Metaphysics in general is, metaphysics incorporates a lot of different teachings. Christian Science is metaphysics, religious science is metaphysics, unity is metaphysics, divine science is metaphysics, and it's come down over a long line of, from the first one comes out in a tree branch. Basically what religious science believes at its core is that we are all one. All is God and God is all. and that we are all one, and that personal responsibility is a huge aspect of religious science, in that we are incarnated at our incarnation with all the attributes of God to use within our own universe and in nobody else's, unfortunately, which we'd all like to get out there and do. But that gives us God's empowerment within us to use however we choose to use it. And most spiritual people would use it for good, and then there's others who don't. But that's a personal choice. In 12-step language, it's I have a choice, the choice is mine. So we are blessed to have that incarnated in us, and we are grateful for it. And now to go to Christmas, Christmas for religious science and metaphysics in general, I would think, is a metaphor. The story of Christmas is a metaphor. So I'm going to go through that metaphor. The Virgin Mary symbolizes willingness to receive and nurture truth. And that's really what we think of as the mother aspect of God. Joseph, which is going to be the father aspect of God, represents intellect, the search for truth, and preparing for the birth of the new. And of course, when we look at Christmas, the new is Jesus, as I would put it, the anointed one. The journey to Bethlehem stands for our need to return to the point of separation. And separation is a big thing in metaphysics. Particularly, I don't know if anyone but me has ever heard of it, probably Vivian has, A Course in Miracles, which I taught for 19 years. Separation is the root cause of all of our unhappiness. We're separated from each other, and we separate ourselves from God. We're not separated from God, but we separate ourselves as the negatives happen in our life, and we move away and away and away. And some people say, well, God turns his back. No, God doesn't turn his back. We turn our backs. So healing that separation is a big part of what metaphysics is about. The struggle to find a bed is the ego's struggle within to hold on to its fears and prejudices and resentments. And metaphysics does not believe in Satan or the devil, but rather that we are our own worst enemy, as is said by somebody important in life. I don't know who it was, but it's our ego that gets in the way. It's false pride. The birth of Jesus depicts our birth to Christ consciousness. And it's a yearly event when you look at it as Christmas, but it's really an ongoing event that again, I'm going to go to 12th step, which says in the 10th step that you take a daily inventory or a minute-by-minute inventory and see where we've gotten off the path of the teachings of Jesus and need to get back onto it. So it's definitely not a yearly event, though as Judaism has Yom Kippur as a yearly event, but it doesn't mean you're not supposed to look at what you do wrong all year long. And I was raised Jewish, and I still am Jewish. The wise men in our movement are the light, the truth of our being. And in the story, they came to honor Jesus. And Jesus says somewhere in the Bible, and it's really that vague for me, that I'm the light of the truth. And that is the truth. Metaphysics is based in the teachings of Jesus. Not Jesus as the Savior, as the only Son of God who died on the cross to save us from our sins, but as the example, the way shower for us to follow. The Nativity story is a metaphor of messages showing our journey to heaven on earth. In other words, that heaven on the opposite of heaven are states of mind. It's whatever we choose to do with it in our own mind, which takes us back to being incarnated with all the attributes of God. And now how do we choose to use them? My 5 minutes is up. Am I done? Well, I can share what the appeal of Christmas is from the metaphysical point of view.
Please do.
Okay. Christmas is an anchor to our value roots. The joy of giving, receiving, and being there for each other. The story is a fairy tale from a metaphysical point of view of love and virtue winning over evil. It's kind of like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Cinderella and all the fairy tales that we grew up with. TVs and movies. Many TV shows, not all. It's that Hollywood ending and the perfect song. It's to elevate us. And as we elevate ourselves, we elevate everybody else, because we're all one. There's one mind. That mind is God's. That's the mind we all use. The stories help to stabilize us in a world of anxieties and distractions, to have hope in the invisible, which is truly faith. We still need to work on the anxieties and fears. The Christmas story reawakens our inner longing for trust and miracles. And that's something that Jesus taught as he did his sermons on the Mount. The child within each of us, and we all have a child within us, yearns for the magic and security and hope of things to come. It's a building of faith. And because we're adults doesn't mean that that building is over. It continues. The birth seems to validate Jesus' later miracles, mostly his loving faith and his acceptance of everyone, no matter what. Lack of judgment. Judge not lest you be judged. And we need to acknowledge our own needs as we look at Christmas and the meaning of Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? That was beautiful. Thank you very much, Maxine. All right. And again, anybody decide that they have a burning desire to get out of here because something's going to die at home? All right, good. Then we'll move on to Valerie Elliott with Christian Science. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you. It's kind of like Interfaith Council here. And by the end of the evening, you will know similarly what it's like at an Interfaith National Day of Prayer service and Interfaith Thanksgiving Day service, only they do hold you to the 2 minutes. And I'm so grateful that I won't have to be held to my 5 minutes because I get to breathe while I'm reading this. I did write it because I have a tendency to go longer. Okay, as you know, and I apologize to the people at my back. As you know, my name is Valerie Elliott. I will be reading from prepared notes as I just said, so I don't exceed my allotment. I am representing First Church of Christ Scientist here in Lancaster, which is 2 blocks south of us. And I was sitting here thinking, I don't know which direction south is, but we're at the corner of Milling and Fern. The building has been there since the early 1950s, and Christian Science services have been held in Lancaster since 1917. This branch church is a branch of the mother church whose worldwide headquarters are in Boston, Massachusetts. And the church was started in the late 1800s. And the mission statement of the Christian Science Church is a church designed to commemorate the word and works of our Master, Christ Jesus, which should reinstate primitive, meaning original, Christianity and its lost element of healing. This is the purpose as listed in our manual of the Mother Church, and it was well before 100 plus years before the word mission statement was a popular statement. Our founder and leader, Mary Baker Eddy, wrote a book titled Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures over 100 years ago. We use that book as a textbook in conjunction with the Bible to help us get a better understanding of God and our relationship to Him, as Jesus showed by His healings and His parables and His instructions to go and do thou likewise. That's in Luke 10. People have had physical, financial, and other healings just by reading the book, myself included. An important distinction you may have already discerned: we are not the Church of Scientology, which I believe is based on the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard. The services we provide, that is what we offer to the community, are weekly Sunday services and Wednesday evening meetings, annual Thanksgiving Day services filled with gratitude, an annual lecture for the public. The talk in 2013 will be on Saturday, April 20th. Please watch for our flyers or come into our reading room for more information. Our annual patriotic concert and sing-along held the Sunday before July 4th. In 2013, it will be on June 30th. There is always a military tribute, and this year we will have some special sing-along songs for the children. We also have a reading room that is open to and for the public. Bible reference materials are available, including various Bible translations, concordances, etc., and access to online research sites. There are also CDs, books, magazines, and more for children and adults available for purchase. Currently a 20% off Christmas sale. There are almost 120 years of articles on God, Jesus, and spirituality, with tens of thousands of documented healings published in the monthly Christian Science Journal, weekly Christian Science Sentinel, and quarterly Christian Science Herald that is currently printed in 4 languages with 10 more languages available online. We carry only the Spanish edition in print at the local reading room. There is a recent 20-year period where thousands of medically diagnosed conditions were categorized and further documented. Also available in the reading room is the weekly news magazine, The Christian Science Monitor, winner of 7 Pulitzer Prizes and more than a dozen overseas press club awards. Our reading room is open Tuesday through Saturday. The entrance to the reading room is at the opposite end of the church entrance. Reading rooms, including ours, have been used as a refresher for people searching for their spirituality, including students of the Bible and pastors of other faiths. It truly is a treasure in this desert. Our target population, these are questions that you asked or that you mentioned on the application. Our target population is anyone who wants to know more about God and his or her relationship to God. Many who look into Christian Science do so because they are searching for answers after medical science has diagnosed limited or no options. That is what happened in my case, in addition to sending me back to reading the same Bible with a different perspective. And our family has had wonderful healings. I was healed of a lifelong struggle of allergies and asthma, starting at age 1.5 years. The application to speak in this forum asked what partnering we might hope to receive from the city in this commission. The answer is, we are already supporting our community with prayer and the services we provide for the public. We do not have any expectation at this time how we might partner with the city or with this commission. That's not saying that we're not open to something, something that we hadn't thought about. In closing, I would briefly like to tell you my spiritual journey. I was brought up in a somewhat mainstream Christian church and sometimes had questions that weren't answered. As a young adult, visiting and questioning other faiths, I still didn't get any definitive answers there either. I had and have respect for pastors, rabbis, imams, and other spiritual leaders, but the basic questions I had were never answered to my satisfaction. I eventually considered myself an agnostic, meaning not knowing whether or not there was a God, versus an atheist believing that there is no God. There is a longer story as to my journey to becoming a student of Christian Science, but I will tell you that I finally got a question answered that I asked as a child. The question I asked was, if God brings sickness or accidents or even death for some divine purpose, wasn't Jesus going against God's wishes when Jesus instantly healed them? I have since found the answer to that question, and it is substantiated in the Bible. It always was there, we just missed seeing it. And you, my friends, will have to read Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy to find out the answer for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Have you done the invocation for City Council as yet?
I've been in here, I don't think so. No, I've not signed up since they've been sending out the applications.
Well, each faith in the valley is welcome to ask to do so. It's part of the rule that established the invocation. So if you have not yet and wish to, she contacts Jerry.
I'm familiar with the process.
Super. Thank you so much for coming.
Sure, thank you.
And this is probably a good time to tell you that when all the presentations are done, I understand that there's coffee and cookies. Lest you think that you're going to get out without calories. All right, the local spiritual assembly of the Baha'is of Lancaster, Joanne D. Giovanna.
First of all, I'd like to thank the commission for providing the opportunity for myself as well as the others here to speak before you. And I think what I've seen so far is we really have more similarities than we have differences. And if we would just find out more about the other faiths, it would help a great deal, because I believe that intolerance and hatred is what, really leads, or rather is due to a lack of knowledge. And if we have increased knowledge, we'll have greater acceptance and tolerance. I'm going to speak tonight a little bit on the Baha'i faith because it is one of the lesser known religions, to give you a little bit of background on it as well as our holidays on it. The Baha'i faith was established in 1844. The name Baha'i stems from our founder Baha'u'llah, which means the glory of God. And prior to Baha'u'llah being declared as a messenger of God, there was someone called the Bab. It's spelled B-A-B, not B-O-B. And the Bab stands for the gate. So he was equivalent to like John the Baptist as a forerunner to speak of the coming of this new manifestation. One of our main principles is that we believe that there is one God, but this one God has sent many messengers or teachers or manifestations, call them what you will, prophets, to earth, because of the fact that over a period of time we tend to stray from the teachings. That the teachings that were delivered to us thousands and thousands of years ago weren't all that different from what we're hearing today. Love thy neighbor. But we have, instead of love thy neighbor as thyself, the Baha'is say love thy neighbor more than thyself. So we just tweak it a little bit as time goes on. Followers of Baha'u'llah are called Baha'is, and as I mentioned earlier, we have the Bab and then Abdu'l-Baha. Abdu'l-Baha was the son of Baha'u'llah, and those are our three key people who have given us writings. We don't have one religious book, we have many religious books, because being that it was 1844 and then Baha'u'llah in 1863, they were at a time where they could write their own writings. They of course have been interpreted. They were written in Farsi and Persian, and so they've been interpreted for people like me who can't read that, but they wrote it themselves as opposed to having someone else write it, perhaps years later. We are considered the most, after Christianity, the most geographically widespread religion. Baha'is are located in every country of the world with the exception of North Korea, Israel, and the Vatican City. And that's because those three places don't permit other religions. Otherwise, we'd be there too. As far as its introduction to the United States, our first declared Baha'i in the United States was in 1894. And then in 1912, Abdu'l-Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, was able to visit the United States. And he came and spoke, and they had meetings in the large cities of this country, including San Francisco. Well, 1912 was 100 years ago. So we just had our centennial of his visit, and we had several celebrations throughout the United States. He left the United States on a steamship from New York Harbor on December 5th, not, 100 years ago, just a little bit ago. And he spoke to those that were there at that time, and I'd like to read just part of his speech because he can, he's going to do a much better job of it than I would. He said, "I have repeatedly summoned you to the cause of unity, of the world of humanity, announcing that all mankind are the servants of the same God, that God is the creator of all. He is the provider and life giver. All are equally beloved by him and are his servants upon whom his mercy and compassion descend. Therefore you must manifest the greatest kindness and love toward the nations of the world, setting aside fanaticism, abandoning religious, national, and racial prejudice." He spoke of America being a key element in establishing peace throughout the world. He felt that America was and should be the leader in establishing peace throughout the world. I mentioned that the idea of one God is our main tenet, but we believe in progressive revelation, that over the years several prophets have come to us, including Christ, Muhammad, Krishna, Moses, Zoroaster, and as well as many others. And they do come as we need new revelations. We believe in independent investigation of truth. We don't have ministers, we don't have priests, we don't have clergy, we don't have someone telling us what to think. We believe in reading our books together and studying them together without someone telling us what we should be thinking. Oneness of mankind means no prejudice. I was raised in a Baha'i home. I didn't know any difference in people. People find this hard to believe, but until I was well into my adult years, I could meet a person, and 2 weeks later someone would say, "Do you know so-and-so?" And I'd say, "Well, describe them." Well, and at that time the key word was, "Well, they're a Negro," because as I was growing up that was the term that was used. I said, "Well, I don't know." Well, they were black. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember that. It wasn't something I would see in people. So I feel I was raised to be colorblind. We believe in harmony of science and religion. We believe in men and women are equal. This is the first religion that teaches that. We believe that boys and girls should be educated equally. Not just the boy because we can only afford to send him to college. We believe both should be educated equally. We also believe very strongly that religion needs to be the cause of unity and harmony, not the opposite. It's never made any sense to me, and when I was teaching 7th grade and teaching about the Crusades, I could never understand why do we have these religions fighting if they're teaching love thy neighbor. One unique thing about the Baha'is, we don't allow anyone to contribute money to the Baha'is. You must be a declared Baha'i in order to donate. We don't pass the plate and have other people donate. I don't know of any other religion that does that. Values are very important to us, but they should be important and are important to all religions. But as I mentioned earlier, the idea is that we sometimes forget love of humanity, justice, trustworthiness, honesty, humility, courtesy, and we need to be reminded of that periodically. I think one unique thing about us too is about unclean habits, of health habits. We don't believe in drinking alcohol. We don't believe in smoking. Baha'is, as far as our holy days go, we have a rather unique calendar. Our calendar is a calendar of 19 months of 19 days. Well, if you multiply 19 times 19, you're going to come up short by 4 or 5 days with the Gregorian calendar. But we got a solution for that. It's called Ayyamaha, which is intercalary days. And so during those 4 or 5 days, that's the time that we do our gift exchange. We do believe in Christ, but we don't celebrate Christmas, unless you're like me that has many relatives who are Christians, and so we celebrate Christmas as well as the Baha'i holy days. The Baha'i holy days are recognized by the Lancaster School District. When I was going through school in Lancaster, My parents went to the school board and got the right for us to be excused on our holy days, so that we were not counted as an unexcused absence. We don't have any idols. We don't have pictures of Baha'u'llah. We don't believe in worshiping figures as such. We don't have any traditions, like a Christmas tree or menorah. Maybe it's because we're a new religion, I'm not sure, but we don't have that at all. Our church, so to speak, is called a feast, and it's held every 19 days at the end or beginning, whichever one you want to call it, of our 19 days of the month. And at that feast, we read from the Baha'i writings. We frequently have our children present things as well. We read the prepared Baha'i prayers, and we have a social time period too, where we share food and visit with one another. Another holy day that is a little bit different from the American way of doing it is New Year's. Our New Year's is not January 1st. Our New Year's is March 21st. That's spring. It seems to make more sense to celebrate New Year's when trees are blossoming and everything looks new, rather than the opposite on January 1st. We celebrate, of course, the birth of Baha'u'llah and the birth of Abdu'l-Baha and the Bab, as well as their ascension. Also, the martyrdom of the Bab is commemorated as well. And our day actually begins at sunset versus sunrise. We consider, or midnight. Our day goes from sunset to sunset. And we do have a fast during the month of, from March 2nd to March 20th. We fast for those 19 days where we don't eat or drink water or any kind of liquid from sunrise to sunset. Okay, I wish to thank again the Commission for allowing us the opportunity of doing this, and mentioning that I have lived, as I said, I grew up in Lancaster. I've lived here since 1959. I've seen the changes. After I went through school, I vowed never to come back to Lancaster again. I had to get out of here. Well, I'm still here. I came back and taught at the Lancaster School District for 38 years. So I've seen various things that have occurred throughout Lancaster, and I applaud the Commission and wish you well with your efforts in restoring the unity of our cultures in this community, and recognizing that we all have our wonderful qualities, and we've got a heck of a lot more similarities, I think, than differences. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. I had a couple of questions. When are your high holy days?
I cut those shorter because I knew I was running longer.
Are they all at once?
No, they're different. I mentioned the New Year's, that's March 21st. Declaration of the Bab we celebrate because we consider that the beginning of the Baha'i faith, and that's on May 23rd. The birth of the Bab, October 20th, we celebrate. Birth of Baha'u'llah is November 12th. The Ascension of Baha'u'llah is on May 29th. Martyrdom of the Bab, July 9th. And I mentioned about the fast from March 2nd to the 20th, and the intercalary days that occur between the 18th and 19th months as well.
Do each of the 19 months have a name?
Yes, they do.
Are they pronounceable?
Some of them are. Allah, Mashiach, the one that we're in right now is Masil. Don't pin me down on remembering what they stand for each one, because I've been a Baha'i all my life and I to this day cannot recite all of them, but they do stand for things like knowledge, trustworthiness, faith, you know, the values kind of thing on there, hope and peace, you know, good virtues and values that they stand for, each one of them.
Well, thank you.
On it, but it's something that I have been telling myself over and over. I need to memorize those, but they obviously, and even as secretary, and when I type up the minutes, I have to look to see, okay, it's Masil, what does that stand for? And I should know that one because that's this month. I think it's knowledge. I believe it's knowledge, but I could be wrong on that.
Anyone else with questions?
Yeah, any other questions? This is the book that I read there from. That to the Commission.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, what a salad bowl we have. Delicious. Okay, Juanette Caloris with Kwanzaa. And Juan, thank you for coming.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, everyone. My name is Juan Blanco. I'm the president of the Antelope Valley branch of the NAACP. I am here in support of our Youth Works Chair and Kwanzaa Chair and incoming Secretary, Juanette Colors. It's Colors. And I'm here to be her helper, so I'll turn it over to Juanette.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting us. Also, Juan's going to pass out a flyer because we're actually having a Kwanzaa event and everyone is invited. Kwanzaa is a Swahili word and it means first fruit. And basically that's when you're gathering all of your harvest. And I have a basket here and I'm going to explain all of the reasons those are there and what they symbolize. And so Kwanzaa is for the first fruit, and Kwanzaa is an African-American, Pan-African holiday. And it's celebrated with family, community, and culture. And the purpose of it is that Dr. Karenga, he went to UC Cal State Long Beach, and he decided to put the Kwanzaa together to really emphasize a time of gathering, reaffirming, and a bond, and for the 7 principles. One of the main things is to honor our ancestors, and we have a ceremony that's called a libation ceremony. And in that ceremony, everybody voices a person that they're missing in their family or ancestor and history. And it's sort of a time to remember them. And it's a time to celebrate good in life, family, community, and culture. So what it does, what we have here is we have here's my little paper here. We have a mat inside of there, and the mat is to symbolize a tradition and history, therefore the foundation in which we build. Because first you put an African tablecloth down, then you put the mat down, so that's your foundation. There's a canera in there, which is our candle holder, and it says 7 candles, and those symbolize the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Also on the table you would have corn, and corn is to symbolize children. Regardless if you have a child or not, you would have corn because all of the children are our children and we're responsible for them. The 7 candles are 3 are red, 3 are black. No, 3 are red, 3 are green, and 1 is black in there. And we have a unity cup, and you have gifts in Kwanzaa, and the gifts are mainly given to children, and they're educational things that you make, or books. Like that's like a little doll. She's made of a gore and just scrap fabric, and it's all about like recycling, just using things that you already have. And I said they have the different colors of the candles, and the reason is the black is for the people, red is for the struggle, green is for the future and the hope to come from their struggle. So it's based on the colors that were given by Marcus Garvey as the national colors for the African American people of the world. So those are the reasons we have all of those, and those are usually set out, and you have a whole table with that. Each of the days with the candles are lit each day to symbolize that particular day that you are celebrating. And the first day, it's interesting how everyone was talking about the different religions, and they all come around because Kwanzaa is not a religion, it's not a religious ceremony, it's a cultural history, it's just a cultural event that you're celebrating, but all of the things come full circle. The first day, you would light the candle, and it would be for unity. And what we're doing in unity is to strive for and maintain unity in the family, the community, the nation, and the race. So you would get together with your family and friends, you light the first candle, and you're just talking about unity, getting together. Because a lot of times we just don't have, it would be a green one of the candles. And you light them left to right when you're lighting them. But just getting together with people you haven't been able to see, gather, exchange gifts, The second day is self-determination. It's to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. So it's sort of like a reflection, a refresher of just thinking about what you want to do with yourself, with your family, and instilling that in your children and your ancestors. The third day is collective work and responsibility. It's to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. So it's all of us working together for the greater picture. That's what it's for. The third day is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores, shops, and other businesses and to profit from them together. So as African American, on that particular day, we try to go to businesses that are African American businesses. We try to spend our dollars there at African American businesses and encourage shopping at smaller stores, not retail, not big time, just small time, and giving back and recirculating our funds. The next day would be NIA, which is purpose, to make our collective, vocational, the buildings, and developing our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So that would be like for when I would do it with my kids, is just talking about purpose. And even if you're 10 years old, you have a purpose. You know, maybe your purpose is to go to school, do the best that you could do, or you're playing baseball, give it your all. It's just constantly instilling in your children and in your family the values and morals that were established in Africa and being proud of those and bringing those back to our household and community. The next day would be creativity, to do away as much as you can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. There's always a living part of that we have in there. I just put a rose in there, but we always have a plan, and we always talk about continuously growing and sowing and reaping, and you have to work it for it to produce before you could produce it. So one of the things is we always would have a garden, and you would have already taken all of your fruit from that, but it's learning that you have to take care of your community, take care of your land, take care of your resources for them to come back to you. The last day would be faith, is to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. So it comes all around in full circle. It's just values, morals, and working together as a community and a family to instill these values, which everybody would want that anyway, but we take our traditions from the African culture, and we're just coming full circle and instilling those in our family and in our children. And on the last day, which would be New Year's Day, we have a feast, and everyone kind of potlucks it, but you have different foods, and you're just rejoicing on, like for instance, your children's accomplishments, your family's accomplishments, or what you've done in your family, in your community, what you've done, and instilling that, and you have sort of like a meditation, what you're going to go forward and doing for the year. So it's sort of like a resolution somewhat, but not called that. So at our event that we're having, it's scheduled for December 30th. It's going to be at the United Deserts Charity. Everyone's welcome, it's free. We're going to have African dancers there. There'll be free crafts for children that they'll be doing there. They'll be doing body art on themselves from different tribes in Africa. They'll be doing art there, and it'll be just a sampling of some of the things that we do in our culture to celebrate Kwanzaa, and everyone's invited. And did you have any questions?
We're really glad that you're able to come. These presentations are being taped, and they'll be put up on our website. Last year, you invited us to come, and almost the full Tapestry Commission came to the Kwanzaa presentation, and it's just fascinating, the unity of values that we hold here in this valley, but different religions and ways of viewing them. So we really appreciate the cultural expansion.
Well, thanks. I invited you guys last year, so I'm glad that you remembered and invited us to come again, and it's getting bigger and better. And all of the other, we have like miniature Kwanzaa events throughout the city, so this year we're all coming together and doing them as a part of Kwanzaa. Well, thanks a lot.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next we have Reverend Toshio Ota with the Conco Church of Lancaster.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me for this meeting to speak for the first time. I'd like to start with the introduction of Concord Church of Lancaster. The word Concord is a Japanese word, and the church was established on September of 2011, last year. And this year we had, on July 29th, we had a church opening ceremony at JP Hellenic Center here in Lancaster. And we had many guests from Japan and other churches here in the United States and Canada. Concord Church Concord Church of Lancaster is part of Concord Churches of North America. We call it KCNA. Churches, there are a total of 14 churches, including Lancaster, 2 in Canada, Toronto and Vancouver. And within the United States, we have Seattle, Washington, Portland, San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Fresno, Los Angeles, Whittier, Gardena, and San Diego. So we are a very small church organization. And Concord Church of Lancaster, before we became church, we were a propagation hall for 4 years. We resided here. Actually, we moved here in Lancaster from Garden Grove. After living 27 years in Garden Grove, we moved here a little over 7 years ago due to my work here at Edwards. So we did not move here to establish a church. I don't want to go in detail, but my wife, I'm assistant minister. My wife is head minister. And one day, she has been thinking, but wanted to establish church, but we need to start from propagation hall. So we signed up to to open propagation hall, which we did. And for those years, 4 years, we joined AV Interfaith Council, and we participated some of the events like 9/11 and Thanksgiving services. And recently, when I say recent, this year, since we became church, on Memorial Day of this year, after your annual main memorial service at Lancaster Church, we had an opportunity to do a memorial service for a Japanese pioneer. There is a monument being built, established, using those granite stones and so on. They sort of set up this monument. So after the main memorial service, we had this special service in Konkokyo style, I should say. We used purification to service, and there were surprisingly the few families who were part of pioneers here in Lancaster joined us on that service. So we had a chance to do the service in Lancaster, and the coordinator requested maybe we can kind of continue to have this memorial service after the main memorial service on Memorial Days. And I'd like to, what is Konkokyo? Of course, I'm not going to detail, but I like to read this part of this, what is Konkokyo, Konko faith. so I can convey the meanings correctly here. We believe in Tenchi Kane no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder, Konko Daijin, embraced Kami meaning God. We use both. We have been using Kami in the prayers, but Kami, when I say Kami, it's the same as God. And our founder, Konko Daijin, embraced Kami's revelations as a divine mediator, answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami, today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity toward spiritual fulfillment. And we conduct the services such as purification services or ceremonies, similar to Shinto style, such as when there was a groundbreaking ceremony to purify the ground, and we do that type of service. And also when the building is completed, we do the purification service for people who are residing, for safety of everyone, building, and also for the prosperity for the businesses and whatever that building might be. And we also do the when purification services for the like a single residence or when new car is purchased, we do a purification service. Just to give you some of the services we do. Our future plan. We are very new here. We're still trying to understand the community. My wife had real bad allergies for several years, but now she has overcome with it. But this is just an example of the area that we live in. Is different from what we used to live. But we have a house, a church, and so we are determined to stay here in Lancaster and work with the other religious organizations through whatever events coordinated by the AV Interfaith Councils. We'd like to join them and participate on these activities, and then further try to help people here in the community. We have not set any volunteer work or other activities yet, but those are the things that we're planning for the cities. I guess that is it. Yes, for now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on your new congregation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions? Oh, there is a question.
Mr. Oto, I have a question. Welcome to the Antelope Valley. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
You mentioned Shinto, so I'm assuming that you are not part of the Shinto.
No, not part of Shinto, but the ritual
Is similar.
Was started from Shinto.
Okay.
The time this founder, this 1859, those days, the government forced religious organizations to either belong to Shinto or to Buddhist.
Buddhist, that's what,
Yes.
that was my other question, okay.
So some of the rituals and the gowns, those is very similar
Okay.
to Shinto.
But different, separate from.
Yes, the
Okay.
faith and the activities, yes, it is different.
Thank you very much for clarifying that, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sir, I was wondering if you could leave your contact information for your church as well as the other presenters so we could perhaps visit your congregation at one time or another.
Yes.
I have a group of young leaders in the community that I would like to expose them to the variety of different ideas and beliefs in our community.
Okay.
And if all of you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Love to visit you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, if you have not filled out a Weaver's form, we do keep track of who comes to see us and how we can find you again. All right, is Mario Pineda here with the Bhakti Yoga? Mario Pineda, anyone else from a faith organization that would like to do a presentation? Oh, here you are, Mario, sorry. Welcome.
Hi. So this is how a Hare Krishna looks like, not in the 60s or the 70s. This is the only thing remaining that is part of our how we are supposed to dress or keep our body. It's called Sika, and it has it's like an antenna for a spiritual understanding, something like that. It's explained like that. Physiology, meridians in the body, and so forth. They have different perception of different things, and so forth. So it's a very scientific thing, actually. A little bit about myself. I was born Freire, derived from the word friar, in a Catholic family, descendant of ex-French monks that got involved in politics. My uncle liberated Chile in 1810. My mother was a nun. The spiritual gene manifested in her, and but she decided to have children and all that. But she said that she prayed that I be a mystic before she met my father. So I have very good spiritual self-esteem. And in the 60s and 70s, soul searching manifested in me, not in my brothers and sisters, but in me. And I was influenced by the 60s and 70s counterculture, all of that. So I went to see every guru, every Rinpoche, every Lama that came into town, and I read many, many books. And I ended up deciding, and by the arrangement of God in the Hare Krishna movement, which is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means devotion to God. It's a monotheistic philosophy. The scriptures can be more than 500,000. We're still finding more verses in Sanskrit language. And in these, in the Vedas, there's 7 philosophical systems. Only one of them is theistic, authored by Vedavyas. And there it's explained that self-realization is what the human form of life is for. And it concludes that I'm not this body, I am not a gender, I'm not a sexual orientation, a career, a political party, any of that. What am I? I am Aham Brahmasmi, I'm a spirit soul, and my function is Nitya Krishna Das. In Sanskrit it means I'm an eternal servant of God and all living entities. So Bhakti Yoga is about love. Current Bhakti Yoga, which was came since 500 years ago, is revolutionary. We believe that God himself came 500 years ago, and he taught that the female energy of God's love is greater than the male energy love. And so it's kind of unique. It's very, girls like it, women like it. And we like it too, because we get to experience a higher love, actually. And but to do this is not so easy. The self-realization is just a foundation. Then you have to go through faith, increase the faith, get a spiritual master. then mind and sense control, then identify your bad habits and weaknesses and get rid of them gradually with proper spiritual understanding and practice. Then you have a firm faith, then you have ruchi. Ruchi means you have a taste for this lifestyle. Then you have ashakti, an attachment for this lifestyle. Then you have bhava, total satisfaction or happiness, and then prema, or love. That is the goal of life, love. And I already said that there's a lot of scriptures. The sutras alone have 100,000 verses. And the founder of the Krishna movement in the world, worldwide, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he translated around 75 of these literatures, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having done that in just 10 years. At the same time, he opened 108 centers, wrote 7,000 letters, went around the world 14 times. Incredible capacity of this gentleman. And the main book is the Bhagavad Gita for beginners. Bhagavad Gita, Song of God, is a book that influenced most Emerson and Henry David Thoreau, and in more current times, George Harrison of the Beatles and Alfred Ford of the Ford Motor Company, the great-grandson of Henry Ford, who is now building a $60 million temple in India in honor of the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God. We follow 4 principles: no meat, no fish, no eggs, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex life, and no meat eating. It increases your mercy, empathy, and compassion. No illicit sex connections, your purity of mind and body. No gambling, your level of truthfulness, and no fish, no gambling, no intoxication. No intoxication. It increases your ability to perform sacrifices and austerities, which is what life is for. Life is not for comfort, it's for austerities and sacrifices. It's a big distinction to current world civilization. And the most important principle is the Guru. Guru Tattva Siddhanta. Guru means prophet of God. Tattva, truth. Siddha, perfect. Anta, conclusion. The conclusive truth as who is the true spiritual master. That master must be someone like Jesus Christ. The Vedas predicted the coming of Jesus, predicted the coming of Muhammad, and other personalities like that. So we are very non-sectarian. We accept all of these religions because we were taught about them 5,000 years ago, that they would manifest. And I guess how we differ with other spirituality and religions is that there's much more detail. That's much more detail. It's a little bit more demanding, and that's basically it. We're known as a kitchen religion because we cook a lot, and we have managed. Of course, the movement is split, and I belong to one that tries to keep everything original. And I'm happy to say that we have a group in India feeding 1.3 million children, 6 days a week, totally free of charge, at a cost of about $120,000 a day. The responsibility of that is mainly the Silicon Valley and the Indian government, together with my God brothers and God sisters, which managed and created the whole thing. I've been feeding locally 100 homeless every month for the last 6 years. We had to stop that because my wife has scleroderma and she has little energy. It's a lack of blood flow condition, and I'm not such a good cook as she is. So my dream it would be to. We had a festival of India, a couple of them. Maybe you heard some time back. And my dream is to bring one of these kitchens that feeds 100,000 children under 2 hours. They put everything at the top. It goes down, it gets washed, it gets cut, it gets cooked. And before 6 hours, you have a meal for 100,000 children. So my dream is to bring one of those kitchens from India and have it here, the base, have it be the Antelope Valley. And whenever we have a Katrina or something like that, we can fly or truck that kitchen to feed 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people at a time. And because in Bhakti Yoga, actually, life is about serving others we love, and that's what that would do. When I was in the monastery 10 years, I repeated the name of God 28,000 times a day. It takes 2 hours. In meditation. So we chant in rosary, and then we high philosophy, and then and we eat sanctified foods. The food that we cook, it's taught to us from God, the Scripture of God, the Prophet of God, and the saintly people. These are the authoritative sources. That this food, if it's cooked properly and offered with love to God via the spiritual master, it will have the effect of guaranteeing a human form of life to any living entity that has it, whether it's a plant, an insect, or an animal. You know, and two-legged animals too, because that's good, right? A lot of us, right? So I have full faith in this. So we distribute a lot of this food to people, and I have a cookbook for you. That book, it has, you know, like it addresses like cancer and vegetarian diet. Like a vegan, you know, it's a sacrifice, it's an austerity, but guess what? They live 50 years longer than the rest of us. We're lacto-vegetarians. We have milk and cheese. And so diet is a very, very important part for the health and the economy and the environment. And Bhakti Yoga recognizes that.
Well, thank you very much. Anyone have any questions? I just want to know when's dinner.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. When is your main dinner, one of these events that you're having?
You know, give me a call. I'll be happy to, I can take you to Molly's restaurant.
Oh, okay.
That's practical,
oh, okay,
right?
all right.
It's gonna be, yeah.
Sure,
I'm supposed
absolutely.
to cook for Saturday for a Christmas function, but you know, I'm not the best cook, and then I don't have a lot of time, so I'll take you to Molly's though. My card is there.
Thank you so much.
I want to say, don't let him kid you. He's an excellent cook. Granted, not as good as his wife, but before his wife came into his life, he did all the cooking.
Well, don't let him leave and we'll follow him home. Okay. Thank you again. All right, we are running a little bit tight here. I'd like to skip number 3, community presentations to service organizations. I don't think we really have any significant updates, but we do need to take some action before we take a break, and that's on the Martin Luther King Day of Service. So can you run that by us, Brenda?
Yes. The city is hosting a Martin Luther King Day of Service on Saturday, January 19th, and the commission has expressed interest in participating in that. So Commissioner Coronado has the Agents for Change, a youth group that he has begun, and we have some representatives here. And I met with them on Friday night to talk about projects that they might be interested in. And connecting the whole Tapestry Commission and your mission together with the Agents for Change and the Martin Luther King Day of Service. They chose to reach out to senior citizens. So we did have a representative here a couple months ago that wanted to start such a thing where the teenagers would go and speak and meet with senior citizens in the community and make that connection on an ongoing basis. So we're proposing that we utilize the services of the Agents for Change to be on the job, be the leaders there with your support, and they would reach out to the senior citizens. I'll make that connection if you'd like with the senior homes and with the Agents for Change.
Now this is under the, boy, I should not try to talk this late in the evening. The gentleman who came and talked to us with the Senior Services Organization.
Yes.
And you don't remember his name either, I can tell.
Yes.
No, his last name starts with an A.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. last one, I think. She's showing off. She brought her notebook. And I understand now that we have a small pool of volunteers. We also talked about enlisting the Kiwanis volunteers and linking up the key clubs.
Correct, because when the representative came to talk to you, Jennifer, she had mentioned that she has all the youth.
Skidmore, that's right. Jan Skidmore.
Yes. That she had all the youth that you could possibly want for any project. So
Right, super.
we will try to make those connections if you so desire as a commission.
So I understood, if I remember correctly, and you'll tell me if I misunderstand, that the project that the gentleman was proposing was linking young people with visits to the senior centers to make that generational connection, assist people who are in convalescent hospitals from feeling so disenfranchised?
Yes, it's just the connection. What the youth would get out of it is the experience that the senior citizens have.
Stephen Ankerbrandt.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
And the organization? AV Committee on Aging.
Right. And what he was proposing is having the youth go to the seniors, not just the seniors, the senior home that we have here in Lancaster and Palmdale, but also actual residents of our homes, individual homes, single family homes, so that the youth will get the experience that the seniors have to offer and just talk and make that connection. And the seniors would get the benefit of having someone come to visit them and show interest in them. And most of our seniors have lived their whole lives and have careers and have had families and can definitely share their experiences with the youth.
Anybody have any input about whether that's what you'd like to have our MLK Day of Service contribution be?
I think it's awesome. I like it. Are these the kids right here? Well, I think shouldn't we meet them?
Well, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We
Okay, I'm
just-
jumping ahead of
I
things.
just want to make this decision
Okay, yes.
and nail it down because
Okay.
Brenda's been asking me to make a decision for a month and I
Make a
said,
decision then, Sue.
we have to do this
Yeah,
together.
okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so any opposition? All right, let it be so then. All right. Dr. Coronado, would you please introduce us to the concept of agents of change as well as your guests?
Absolutely, definitely. Sure, Sudel. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm absolutely delighted, and I haven't had this much education on different type of beliefs and religions, and it's a great pleasure to hear from every one of you. As I mentioned before, if you could please leave me your contact number and email so I can make sure that our agents are able to contact you and visit you. Now, Agents of Change is an organization. It started as a business, a counseling business that I had here actually not here in Lancaster, but in Palmdale, but it served the Antelope Valley. And it primarily served mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, financially, socially, educationally abused individuals in the Antelope Valley. The rent was increased, and because the rent was increased, I could no longer afford it. So what I did instead is create an organization that will still focus on that. But this time what I wanted to do was make sure that I focus it on recruiting youth in our community. I remember when I was a kid and the popular song, I hope I don't divulge how old I am, but it was Michael Jackson's We Are the World. And in We Are the World, it spoke about the children being our future. And we sang that song when I graduated from 6th grade, but I didn't understand what that really meant. That looking as a kid thinking, what does that mean? But I'm on the future. Well, now I get it. I became the future, and as a result, becoming the future, I have the great honor of being asked and apply for this commission. So I want to pass along that same passion that was passed on to me by that group that talked about we are the future. So my Agents of Change are here. I just recently came from Mr. Senator Knight's office where we got invited, and believe it or not, these young agents were the life of the party. They were very excited to meet the young agents. They brought a lot of luminosity and vibrancy to the room, and they were taking pictures with everybody. So Agents of Change, what it's going to be focusing on is what I just mentioned. It's going to be focused on education, civil rights, human rights, women rights, gay rights, and of course support of all religions, multicultural, small businesses, expansion of small businesses owned by the Latino and African American community, and all communities as well. Now, what we are teaching our agents right now is to go out into the community and do community service. And what they're going to get out of it, as Ms. Brenda puts it, what do they get out of it? That's the first thing I said. What are you going to get out of it? Well, what they're going to get out of it is that they're going to be able to put that on their resume and receive letters, not only from the Tapestry Commission, but the city of Lancaster, Senator Knight's office, Assembly Fox's office, and every other organization that these agents participate in. Now, this helps them because very quickly, my GPA wasn't very high after I graduated from Victor Valley College, but doing enormous amount of community service helped me get into University of California, Riverside as a political science major. So today, if I can quickly, Chair, introduce some of our members that are here today. I'm going to start with the ones that already left. It should be the other way around, but April Davis, she's our Director of Strategic Planning. Dr. Salvador Suarez, actually, she's a speech pathologist for the Lancaster School District. And also Dr. Salvador Suarez, he's our Vice President of Agents of Change. He is a professor and counselor at Antelope Valley College. Then we have Renee Calderon. She is the secretary and my girlfriend, very supportive. She's here today. That's Renee right there in the gray. If you guys could stand real quick since you're here.
How about bringing them down in front?
Okay, sure, absolutely. Absolutely, that would be even great. And I'll introduce them one by one.
We want to see the girlfriend first.
Okay, well, start with since April Davis left, as you guys probably saw, she brought her little one. So we'll start with Renee Calderon. She is our secretary and obviously very, very supportive. Next, we have Tristan. Tristan is a deputy director. They are in charge of membership and public relations and communications. Then we have Mercedes. Mercedes is also a deputy director for public relations and membership. And of course, Stephanie, this is our main leader. She is a director of public relations and membership. She is in charge of making sure that our members show up to our meetings, and she's created a Facebook and a Twitter, and she does all the communications. Next, we have Marvin. Marvin here is one of our main members, and we are very, very delighted to support the community. As I mentioned, these young people are the future, and they're absolutely delighted to participate not only on this upcoming event on Martin Luther King. They had a variety of choices, and they chose this particular one. And Ms. Brenda, let me tell you, members of the commission, let me tell you, I was really, really surprised that they chose to work with senior citizens. They were very delighted, and pleases me they want to do this kind of work, and I'm absolutely grateful. Now, these agents, as I call them, because they are agents of change, we are going to continuously recruit enormous amount of people in the community, mostly young people of colleges and universities, and to go out there into the community and teach them that we want them, as Martin Luther King puts it, be the drum major for love, for peace, for compassion, for truth, and of course for justice. And we are teaching these young people that that is the way to live life, and as Martin Luther King puts it, we do for others through service, and they're absolutely dedicated to do that, Sudel, and they make me feel so proud. Lastly, I took Stephanie Sandoval, our director, to an event yesterday, and she took pictures with our ex-Perez, our mayor. She took pictures with Dr. Krishna, Dr. Faru, with our city, is he Mr. Christ, our vice mayor? Mr. Christ, yes, he took a picture with our newest vice mayor. I just try to expose her to people that are movers and shakers in the community, because as I said, these are going to be the movers and shakers of our community. Finally, and in my conclusion, Stephanie Sandoval has recently been nominated as future leader through the Antelope Valley Press, and I'm absolutely delighted to have done that. She's very quiet, and I actually call her the silent fire, because she's just so quiet and introverted, but she's a fiery little firecracker. And I said Tristan and Stephanie look alike, but Stephanie's Mexican and Tristan is white. So I've been saying that today. They're just multicultural group, and thank you very much for allowing me to introduce these lovely leaders. And Ms. Brenda Sudell and fellow chair, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to introduce these fabulous, wonderful leaders, agents of change.
Can we give our young people a hand?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I think that I told them that after they do the introduction, they're welcome to go home. I know Mercedes was getting a call from mom. Where are you? Where are you? And she was telling her mom that she was meeting very important people, but we want her to know that she's an important person, and we're very happy to meet her. So thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Besides, there are cookies.
Oh, yeah, there's cookies and waters there. And Ms. Chair, my mother-in-law is here to support me, and along with my little nephew, Christian. So thank you very much for being here, guys, and everybody. Oh, my sister-in-law's right there in front playing with her phone. Yeah. Oh, she's taking pictures of me. That's okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Brenda.
All right, great.
And Chair, if I may.
Please.
Stephanie and Tristan, along with a couple others, actually came on Saturday. After I met with them Friday night, they came on Saturday to volunteer to help us from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to set up the Boulevard event for the Magical Christmas event. So that's how motivated and committed they are. And I think it's wonderful.
Fabulous.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, I don't think we're going to get a lot of other work done because we've been faithing and celebrating and enjoying our youth, and I just want to check in about what absolutely needs to be handled. Our next meeting is also a Weavers on January 9th. That's also going to be faith and celebration. So we need to do another check-in with those who could not join us. I did have the pleasure of speaking with Lisa Morgenstern with the pagan group last evening. She came to city council meeting when there was such Sturm und Drang over Walmart. And she did tell me that she is not available on Wednesday evenings. I'm gonna text a cohort of ours and hers who might be able to join us on the 9th. But if you have a personal connection with an alternative or mainstream religion, I'm personally going to talk to the Greek Orthodoxes because I believe their Christmas is in January anyway. So we just need them to fill out the form, so we have, as Commissioner Coronado indicates, the contact information for them. There's a press conference on the 10th of January for MLK Day. It's at 10 in the morning at AV High. I am not available. Does anybody now know that they would be? Commissioner Militello?
What is that for?
It's a press conference for Martin Luther King Day. We generally send somebody if we can.
Okay, now, this has to be one of the commissioners.
Yes, it's
okay.
Representatives of Tapestry Commission.
Okay, and it's, I'm trying to find, is that the, I thought I saw it somewhere, the 10th?
I'll show you.
I thought I saw it.
Right here, written out.
Okay. I'm still getting acclimated
It'll
here.
be a Thursday because the 9th is a Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, now can we get back to Ms. Brenda on this to see if I'm able to make it to
Sure,
that as well?
we'll make a commitment for Commissioner Militello and maybe on Commissioner Coronado, and that'll be our staffing. On the 14th, I am going to unavailable for the Martin Luther King Day of Service. That's the weekend, right?
Correct, it's the Saturday.
And does anybody else know now that they are available for Martin Luther King Day of Service to be present at any event that the city has assigned to? Okay. So does it happen on the Monday? It's a 3-day weekend?
It's the Saturday of Martin Luther King weekend.
Okay, so that would be the 12th? Or the 19th? The Martin Luther King is the 21st.
Sorry, it is the 12th.
Martin Luther King Day is the 21st. Okay, I'm a little confused. Is there any student there who can confirm my note that the 21st is Martin Luther King Day? What kind of students are you? You don't even know when your vacation day is? Focus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 21st. Yeah. So what would that mean about our day of service?
It would be the 19th,
Okay.
the Saturday before.
All right, so let's back this up then. The 19th would be the Martin Luther King Day of Service for the city of Lancaster. Commissioner Marshall has indicated he's available. Commissioner Militello is not, and I am not. Okay.
I'll get back to you.
All right, and we've got a couple of maybes. So Commissioner Marshall, you're on the hook, and we'll see if we can't hook up some other people to do this. And then we have a working meeting on January 23rd. We don't have private meetings, we have working meetings. That's where we sit around a round table and express ourselves freely and try to get stuff done and try to take notes. So we get more done that way, maybe. All right, is there anything else? All right, well, I'll go ahead and have the last word. Just prior to Mayor Paris asking me if I would like to chair a Human Relations Commission, and just before he asked me if I could help build some bridges, I heard some unfortunate statements that were made that sounded exclusive to me, as though only particular people in the city of Lancaster were really welcome. And so when I was asked to step in as a Human Relations Chair and to build a commission and to bring people who are like-minded and inclusive, one of the things I really wanted to do was to make sure that alternative religions believe and understand that they are welcomed here, that they are a part of our fabric, that we weave together to make a community. And whatever unfortunate statements might ever have been made, please consider yourselves by the arm of this commission from the city of Lancaster welcome to participate in city activities in all ways. So thank you so much for coming and enlightening us. And with that,
Oh, is there any public comments from the floor?
do we have any comment cards?
Oh, they had to do the comment cards. Oh, I'm still getting acclimated, and I did not mention it to them, but there was an announcement. Or can I make it, or?
Sure.
Well, I'd rather have, is it okay, Chair, if
Certainly.
one of our agents do it?
Sure.
Thank
Come
you.
on up.
Sorry about that. Guys, get it together, okay? Don't follow the leader. Yes.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Sandoval, and we're from Soar High School, and I'm from Agents of Change. And this Saturday, or no, not this Saturday, December 15th. Wait.
Yeah, that's a Saturday.
That's a Saturday? Okay, we're having a fundraiser, so we can convert Agents of Change, which is an organization right now, into a fundraiser because we need funds to go through all the processes to become a legit foundation, so then we can start getting grants and helping out the community a little bit more. So everyone's invited. It's I don't have the address with me.
I will go ahead and give, write down the address for everybody.
Agents of Change?
No, where you're going.
No, it's not at our high school. It's at actually it's at a house, and it's a dinner party, and the tickets are $30, and everyone's invited. And yeah. And
Is
the
there
address-
a Facebook page yet?
Huh?
Is there a Facebook page yet?
Yeah, we do have a Facebook page. It's Suarez Coronado Agents of Change. So if you go on Facebook and you go like our page, you'll see all the information about it and meeting times and everything.
Great, and after the meeting, if you have particular information or particular questions or you'd like to be involved, you can speak to any of the agents or to Dr. Coronado.
Yes, absolutely.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, now, yes.
Are you talking to me? Okay. Commissioner Coronado wanted to know contact information. You have the contact information for everyone from the Antelope Valley Interfaith Council because I sent it to you.
Yes, I do.
So, Commissioner, just check with her.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Anything that I don't have, Ms. Brenda has. Okay, this is it.
All right.
All right, taping's over.